We know how real it is. The disgrace is that nothing's being done. And I have to tell you, I applaud the two guys you're about to meet. Okay, you got the ranking member, Democrat Raj Krishnamurthy, okay, and Republican Carlos Gimenez. First of all, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming on together. Thank you for letting my audience see that not everybody down there is just trying to figure out how to kill the guy on the other side. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. Now, and especially when you knew that I was going to come at you about the inaction that's going on down there. So, Representative Krishnamurthy, I'll start with you. All three of us know this is not a headline for you guys down there that China is still doing this because they can get away with it. A year ago, Congress said, we're pulling out all the stops on fentanyl. Nothing happened since then until today. Why, Raja?
I don't know. I think that the most likely scenario is that it just wasn't high enough of a priority. And what we're screaming out, people like Carlos and me and others, and you should have been at this hearing, it was full of families with pictures of their loved ones who had been poisoned by fentanyl, is that there's a real sense of urgency with our committee because we see it so clearly what's happening with the Chinese Communist Party. Let me just point out two statistics respectfully. One is that 97% of illicit fentanyl in the U.S. comes from China. There were 0 reported deaths related to fentanyl in China, but 110,000 fentanyl-related deaths in the U.S. at the same time, which shows you two things. One, the Chinese know exactly how to police drug trafficking and fentanyl in China, and they execute people who deal in fentanyl in China. But when it comes to fentanyl exported to the U.S., they either turn a blind eye or worse. And we have some specific policy recommendations that we're going to push very hard to deal with that particular issue.
I want to hear about that, but let's talk about why it hasn't happened. I have two theories, Congressman Gimenez. The first one is that the parties don't see advantage over the other side in this issue. And if the Democrats can't beat the Republicans over the head, or if the Republicans can't beat the Democrats over the head with an issue, then they move on to something else. Is that too cynical?
Yeah, I think it is. I definitely think it is. Look, I've been on this for at least 2 years. When I also serve on Homeland Security, and we had the FBI Director Ray there, and I asked him, hey, we've got a group of terrorists that are shipping a drug that's killing 200 to 300 people a day into the United States. Look, 9/11, we had about 2,000 people, died, and maybe 3,000 people died in 9/11. 19 people more perpetrated that. Yeah. We waged war for 15 years, 6,000 miles away. We got people killing 70, 80,000, 90,000 people a year here in the United States. They're right across the border. What are we doing about it? And why don't we label them as terrorists? Well, because we just can't label them as terrorists. Look, today, the one thing I found, startling. I knew that China was the producer. I've known that for a long time, and that we need to take action against China. But what's worse about it, Chris, is that they're not just producing it and turning a blind eye. They are incentivizing it. They incentivize companies to produce drugs and chemicals that are illegal in their country, just as long as they export it. So China is killing us with a weapon of mass destruction, not only people in the United States, but across the West. They are the largest cartel in the world, drug cartel in the world, and we need to take some action against China. And look, people say, well, hey, what do you want to do? I want to decouple from China like yesterday. And it's going to hurt, but you know what? We need to stop funding the instrument of our destruction, and that's what China is. And this is part of a larger strategy by them to destabilize the West, to corrupt the West, to kill our young people, and they've been doing it for years. And now this report shows not only are they doing it, they're doing it for profit, and they're incentivizing people to do things that are illegal in their country. That's amazing. Our administration, Congress needs to act. the administration needs to act, and they need to act right now, because we're failing as a government to protect our people. We have thousands of families that are suffering right now, and mourning the death of their loved ones. Tomorrow, we're going to have 200 to 300 more families in the same boat, and the day after will be 200 or 300 more, as this continues to go on and on and on. And so, look, it's something that it's bipartisan in nature. I hope that today's hearing brings it to light, and the urgency that this government, our government, the U.S. government, combined, Democrat, Republican, have to act to protect the people of the United States.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.